Hi everyone, welcome to Newegg TV. My name is Paul and today I'm going to be doing an unboxing and overview as well as some benchmarks on this new video card from ZOTAC. This is the NVIDIA GeForce GTX 670. So here's a closer look at the box. First off, we're going to talk about some of the stuff down here. You get a 2 GB memory frame buffer for this card. It's GDDR5 memory. It operates at 1500 megahertz for an effective total speed of 6.0 gigabits per second. It's a 256-bit memory interface with the GPU, and it gives you a total effective memory bandwidth of 192 gigabytes per second. You also, of course, get DirectX 11 compatibility, physics, of course, included from NVIDIA. You get SLI compatibility as well. And then ZOTAC is giving you an extended warranty up here, which doesn't say exactly how extended the warranty is, but it should list that in the specs on our product page. Wanted to mention some of the features of the GTX 670 in general. So here's the specs and the features right here. I'm not going to go over all of them, but a few to mention are GPU boost, which gives you sort of an automatic overclock on the GPU. I'll get back to that in just a moment. You get NVIDIA TXAA, which is kind of like anti-aliasing with a flux capacitor because it travels in time. And then you also get NVIDIA surround technology. You can connect multiple monitors as well as all this other good stuff right here. Oh, wait, I also wanted to point out, here's some of the video games you can play with this card. So next up, we'll take a look inside the box, see what all comes with ZOTAC's version of the GTX 670. We're going to look at accessories first, and then we'll take a closer look at the video card, and then we'll move on to benchmarks. So first off, some plastic. Next up, the video card, which, as mentioned, we're going to come back to. And here you have a couple power adapters. So these are Molex. They will each take a couple Molex plugs from your power supply and transfer them over to a 6-pin PCI Express power. You get 2 of those. You need 2 6-pin PCI Express power plugs in order to power this video card. You also get a DVI to 15-pin D-sub VGA analog adapter, which I hope you don't use because, well, you should be using a newer monitor if you're getting a 670 though. Let's just say it like that. You also get this little packet here with ZOTAC goodies. Let's see what comes with it. Does this have like a key on it or something? Probably. That I'm not showing you guys. There's a promo code. Oh, okay. Promo code right there that I'm covering for Trackmania Canyon, if you're interested. You also get, of course, the installation DVD with some software as well as drivers on it. This is going to contain pre-release drivers if you're getting a launch day card. So you should probably head over to the definitely head over to the Newegg website. If you can tell, I've been benchmarking a lot and I haven't got a lot of sleep last night. So you should head over to the NVIDIA website or the ZOTAC website to download the latest drivers for this card because that will improve your compatibility with games as well as the card's performance as the drivers mature and get better. You also have a ZOTAC graphics cards installation guide here with some general instructions on graphics card installation, plugging them in, connecting them to your monitor. ZOTAC extended warranty information right there. So let's see if I can quickly tell you guys how long that extended warranty is. All right, guys, from everything I can tell here, the extended warranty is actually 5 years. If you register the ZOTAC card within 14 days of purchase, keep your original sales receipt. Don't damage it, of course. Don't abuse, overclock, natural disaster, negligence, or misuse. Anyway, so extended warranty for that. You should probably double check the product page and double check with ZOTAC to confirm me on that. So unofficial, because I don't want to read through the entire manual. So, but there you have it, extended warranty. There's everything that comes with the card. Let's look at the card itself. So here is ZOTAC's version of the GTX 670, and this particular card adheres pretty closely to the reference design from NVIDIA for the 670. I should mention that the GPU on this card, which is located beneath this bracket right there, is the GK104 GPU. It's based on the 28-nanometer Kepler GPU architecture from NVIDIA. This particular GPU that they're sticking in the 670 has 1,344 CUDA cores. If you want a basis for comparison, the 680 has 1,536, so that's one of the benefits you get from jumping up to the 680, but still plenty available with the 670. The base clock on the GPU is 915 megahertz, and then I mentioned earlier boost clock, which is a feature that the 600 series has introduced. Similar to, for instance, Intel CPUs that do turbo boost, what it will do is actually take the base clock of your GPU if the thermal environment permits, so if your GPU is not too hot, as well as the components on the card, it will boost the clock speed up to 980 megahertz. Now, what I've actually determined from my testing with the 670s so far, because I've been benchmarking a few of them, is 980 megahertz seems to be a fairly conservative estimate for the boost clock for most of these cards. And actually what you end up getting is something higher than that, and I believe at this point it varies from GPU to GPU. So for this particular card in testing, the actual boost clock I got up to was 1084.4 megahertz, so that's a full 100 megahertz higher than the listed boost clock of 980. So bear that in mind. You can actually get some additional performance, and that's not just sort of a short-term bump. It's actually bumping it up to that GPU clock speed, and then it's maintaining that for the duration of the test when I was putting a heavier load tests on it. The maximum temperature I saw on this card for the benchmarks was 80 degrees Celsius, and the max fan speed here was 56% at the 80 degrees Celsius temperature point. So that was pretty much some of the results of my testing. We'll be posting up the benchmark numbers here in just a moment. Let's go over the physical aspects of the card just a little bit more. So here you can see there's a plastic shroud that encloses pretty much the entire length of the card. Kind of interesting feature, if you look on the back, is that the PCB for this card actually only extends out to about there. And speaking of, here's a good time to do a little bit of measuring to make sure that this card will fit in your computer. So measured from the bracket right here, we can see that the card is just a little bit longer than 9.5 inches. So very, very reasonable length for the card, especially for the amount of power that you get with the 670. And if you'll notice there, just shy of the 7-inch mark is where the PCB actually terminates. So the end of this entire card is just part of the cooling solution, that cooling shroud with a blower style fan that you see right here. The end of the card over here doesn't have any ventilation either. It's entirely enclosed, so what that's going to do is the blower fan is going to create some positive pressure here and direct most of the airflow back this way, which is going to go across the cooling fins beneath the cooling solution that's beneath the shroud right here. Most of your airflow is going to be ejected out the back of the case. This is a 2-slot card, so the upper slot here has these ventilation holes, and that's where most of your airflow is going to come out of. You have a little bit more gaps here on the side, so you're going to get a little bit more of air escaping there. But if I flip over to the opposite side here, that is fully enclosed as well. So one of the nice aspects of this type of cooling solution is that the hot air from the video card is actually primarily ejected out the back of the case rather than staying in and upping your ambient case temperature. Now some other aspects here to point out. You have your 2 6-pin power connectors here. ZOTAC and NVIDIA are recommending a 500-watt minimum power supply for your entire computer if you're installing this card. I recommend going up a little bit higher than that just to make sure you have headroom to add additional hardware in the future, but bear in mind that is the minimum. So 2 6-pin PCI Express power connectors. Moving up the side of the card here, we have our SLI connectors. You see there are 2 of them. So this card will support 2-way, 3-way, or 4-way SLI configurations if you're using a motherboard that has that capability, of course. It's also PCI Express Gen 3 compatible. So down here we can see our PCI Express connector. That's backwards compatible with PCI Express 2.0 or 2.1. Gen 3 gets you a bandwidth increase as well as some efficiency upgrades on the PCI Express bus. But really, since it's mainly a bandwidth increase, and since even the newest video cards don't saturate the PCI Express Gen 2 bus right now, it's really only going to be a marginal improvement if you have a PCI Express Gen 3 platform versus Gen 2. So don't worry if you haven't upgraded your entire system yet. You can still drop this card in, and you'll still get very, very, very close to its maximum performance potential. That said, I think we're just about done looking at the outside of the card there. Some looks at it from some other angles. Oh, but I can't forget the display outputs. So we have a few display outputs down here in the end. You'll notice there are 4 of them. You can use all 4 at the same time. This card can power 3 monitors for gaming, plus a companion display that you can use to pull up a web page, web browsing, or instant messenger, something like that. So you have 2 DVI outs right here. The upper one here is digital only, DVI-D. Bottom one here is DVI-I, so that one has analog connections as well. They're both dual link, so they will support higher resolutions such as 2560 by 1600. If you're going to use that analog adapter, use it with the lower plug right there. Also over here, you have an HDMI 1.4a display output and a DisplayPort 1.2 output. That said, let us move on and take a look at some benchmarks. So those are our benchmarks, and that is going to wrap it up for this video. Once again, this has been the ZOTAC GeForce GTX 670 video card featuring the GK104 Kepler 28nm GPU from NVIDIA. I'm Paul with Newegg TV. If you enjoyed today's video, please head over to our Newegg YouTube channel for more tech videos just like it. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time.